Hi, this is Frank Warren and you're watching Lights Out.
This is Faisal Khan for Lights Out, proudly sponsored by Spartans Law, and I'm here at the O2 Arena, and with me I'm delighted to be joined by UK-British prospect, hard-hitting Tommy Fletcher. Tommy, good afternoon, mate. How you doing?
I'm very well, thank you, mate. How are you?
I'm good, thank you for asking. I'm feeling that tracksuit you got on.
Thank you, yeah. Castor, best in the business, Castor clothing, right?
You can't beat a good tracksuit, right?
That's it, mate, fresh out the packet today.
Fresh trim as well, looking rather bling-bling for today's press conference. We're here at the O2 Arena for the press conference launch of Zach Parker versus John Ryder. You'll be featuring on that bill. It's been a very busy year for you. You featured on some big cards, going back to the Joe Joyce versus Joseph Parker fight in the A Arena in Manchester. Firstly, how have you how do you think you've done in your breakout year as a pro?
Yeah, I thought I've done very well, do you know what I mean? Like 5-6 months ago I didn't even have my debut, and now I'm now preparing for my third professional fight, so I thought I've had a good start to my career, do you know what I mean? But I want to keep knocking them out, putting them over, getting a bigger profile, and then we getting them 50-50s and get the money and the proper money, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, listen, if you ask me, you speak about Tommy Fletcher, he's featured on some big cards. He's got a tremendous team behind him in SJM Boxing. He's working with Mark Tibbs, the likes of Johnny Fisher, Ebony Bridges, John Hedges as well. Life's really good for you at the moment. How are you sort of taking it in? Because if you roll back to sort of this time last year where we were just getting over COVID, there was a lot of fighters in your position that were struggling to even get their debut fights.
Yeah, I think that was one of the reasons why I turned over pro. It was in COVID. I was just training in the gym in the amateurs, and that I was training proper training my arse off for it, and I weren't having no fights, and I knew there was not going to be any boxing. So I just come to the conclusion, had a GB assessment come through, and I just thought, I'm going to just turn over and just try smash it. I was only 18 at the time before I got my license. I was shortly turning 19, so I just thought, yeah, I'm young, but I'm gonna do it, And then, I teamed up with Mark Tibbs and got a management deal with SJM. So I've got a great team around me, and they've all been around the game for years. And then, obviously, spoke with Frank and that. He gave me the best offer, and it was a no-brainer to go with him. So I signed with Frank and that, and then I'm just not looking back, really. I'm going to just keep smashing it, not look back. And then in time, you'll think, I'll see how far I've come, and I'll keep pushing on.
Yeah, I mean, obviously your first two fights have ended inside the distance. Has that got everyone now thinking, Tommy Fletcher's about to fight, it's going to be stopped inside the distance? How do you sort of carry on repeating those knockout performances as you move further on into the sort of mid stages of your career?
Well, yeah, I'm not in this game to mess about. I mean, I want to knock them all out, but I know it don't always go your way, and a win's a win at the end of the day. Sometimes I think big punches, they can get caught up in if they don't get the stoppage and they felt like they've lost, if you know what I mean. Whereas people that are just point scorers and that actually get through the contest, if they win and look good, that's good enough. So I can't get caught up in just wanting to knock everyone out. As long as I win, then that's the main thing. But yeah, at the minute I'm 2-0, 2 knockouts, and my third fight at the O2, November 26th. I'm not coming for anything less other than a knockout.
I'm sure Frank will be very delighted to hear that. Tommy, when we talk about the cruiserweight division, which is the division that you're campaigning in right now, a lot of people say it's been on a decline, but when you look at, Sky Sports Boxing, who are sort of pushing it back in the right way with fighters like, Richard Riakpo, you've got Chuma versus Lowell on the one of their cards coming up at the Ali Pali, and obviously you've got young fighters like yourself coming through. But it seems that a lot of noise is directed to fighters that we never expected, such as Jake Paul. He's up and down light heavyweight, cruiserweight, and he's fighting this weekend. What have you made of sort of Jake Paul's rise in boxing? And not only Jake Paul's rise, you look at fighters like KSI and Misfits boxing. What's your take on all that, Tommy?
Yeah, well, you say cruiserweight's on a decline. I'm here now.
Not as in fighters like yourself, but a lot of people have said that the last few years it's struggled in terms of past British domestic level wise.
Yeah, well, Jake Paul, KSI, all of them, they can all get it if they want it. I mean, I'll fight any of them, but I think it's good for boxing. Some people, they aren't really too keen on it because you're mixing YouTube and content creators with hard people that want to box and get stuck in. So but I think there's a fine line between it, and I think it's pushing boxing on boxing's getting bigger, but you can't get it too mixed up, because in due time people don't want to see anything like fixed fights or just people that are only going to be good at boxing because they got 1 million subscribers on YouTube, because there's people out there that come from nothing with haven't got a penny, and they're just training with a dream to become world champion, and they've got good talent, whereas there's no harm in saying Jake Paul is not he can box, and KSI they can box, but there's people out there that are junior ABA champions that would smash them to pieces. So, but and they might not get an opportunity in time. So you can't get it too twisted with like content creators and actual hard people that train boxing. You know.
As I mentioned earlier on in the interview, boxing, especially during COVID, was, in a real tough place. We had a lot of fighters in your position wanting to make their pro debuts or sort of get more fights under their belt at the early stages of their career. Now, we mentioned Jake Paul, these are, YouTubers, social media influencers that are coming into boxing and making a lot of money out of boxing. Now, you're still at the early stages of your career. I know you've got your own sort of dreams and targets that you want to achieve, and you're in here as well to win titles and make money, of course. But how does it make you feel when you see people like Jake Paul, making big money when he's fighting sort of UFC stars like Tyron Woodley and Anderson Gibb, and now we know he's fighting on this weekend against Anderson Silva?
Yeah, I can only respect what he's done. I mean, I'll never respect anyone. He's making good money for it. He's pushing his career on, but you can't knock anyone that's working hard. He's in the gym training, and I've watched some of his videos and his fights. He can box. Like he's no idiot. He's not like he ain't no idiot. But I think if you put him in there with someone that's like a game unbeaten boxer, I think they would beat Jake Paul. But he's fought Anderson Silva. He's a fighter, isn't he? Anderson Silva was a fighter. I know he was in the UFC or MMA or whatever it is that he was doing. But he's a fighting man. But everyone just wants to see him fight an actual boxer. But whether he does that or not, I don't know. But until then, I think he'll still be writ off. But he's a YouTuber, but he's still fighting. I mean, he is getting in there with 10-ounce gloves on, and one punch can change anything. Like it don't matter if you can box or not. If you swing at someone and land on their chin, or you can hurt someone. So you can't really knock what he's doing, and I just have to respect that. But I think, like I said, there's a fine line between it with real other boxers and content creators and that, and YouTubers. But yeah, I just respect what he's doing. I do respect him as a person. Yeah.
Frank's always tried to make the fight with him and Tommy Fury. Eddie Hearn's always said that if Jake Paul fought a fighter with a 10-0 record or under, that he would get found out. Tommy, I know you'd take that fight within, you wouldn't even think twice about it. What would happen if Tommy Fletcher fought Jake Paul?
I think I'd knock Jake Paul out in the first 4 rounds, but maybe even less than that. But that fight with Tommy Fury and Jake Paul, and I'll talk facts. I mean, I'm not going to beat it around the bush. I don't know if Tommy Fury actually wants to fight him. And that's only what I've gone and seen on the internet and on social media. So maybe he does. But from how it looks now, I feel like Jake Paul, he's got momentum. You know what I mean? Like he believes himself. He truly believes he'll beat Tommy Fury. So, but I don't know if Tommy Fury wants to fight him now. I don't actually know if he does. But whether that fight happens or not, we'll see. But I don't know how that fight would take place. But I know for sure I'd smash him.
Tommy, before I let you go, what can the fans expect to see from you here at the O2 Arena on November 26th?
You're going to see an electrifying atmosphere. It'll be, I'll sell a lot of tickets, and I'll come out confident, get behind the jab, and hopefully put a devastating knockout in. And if I don't knock him out, I'll smash him for every single round of the fight.
Tommy Fletcher, pleasure meeting you. Thank you for talking to Lights Out.
Cheers, mate. I appreciate it. Thank you.